you getting yourself ready for our show?
I was dancing with my darling to the Tennessee Waltz.
All right, everybody, welcome to another Jigs and Bigs. Happy Tuesday to all the listeners that are out there. We have a very special episode of Jigs and Bigs this week. Recording remotely with the Polish Hammer himself, we've got Paul with us from Lake Chickamauga in Tennessee. We're going to talk about our adventures on the road. Sean's wrapped basketball and headed for TBO for some gnar rigging. And our newest team member, who the fuck is Joe Brown? He tells us what he's been up to as well. We have more fallout from the Springfield Sportsman Show. Bait of the week this week is a newfound Tennessee fave of Bobby's. And pull up a seat, guys. We got a brand new Jigs and Bigs for you. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll see you guys right after this. Get yourself something delicious to enjoy. Maybe an uncircumcised beer. We'll see ya. My beer is uncircumcised. It's a little bit too tall for the Frost Buddy.
Sucking on a foreskin while recording Jigs Bigs.
The foreskin's gone here. This is all head right here. This is all nerve ending.
You said uncircumcised.
Yeah, it's not circumcised.
So then it has a foreskin.
I'm not going to take the lid off to make my point. I'm not going to drop my pen. No.
Snake in a sweatshirt.
Hey, look at this. We all we had to do was actually start doing the show. We got a jig head here with us, guys. We've got Jay Manning in the house. What's happening, Jay? How's things? You're out there in cold western Massachusetts, and today it was nearly 70 degrees where I am in Tennessee. I'm in Hickson, Tennessee with my buddy, the one and only Polish Hammer. We got Paul with us.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Big applause. Big applause. It's nice to have the old sound effects for it's like a vacation, you know? You guys don't have to deal with me dealing with this weird ass voice, but we're here. Yeah, fuck that guy, not him. Oh man, it's going to be a good one. We are exhausted, Paul and I.
Yeah.
We've been on the water all day long, and it was not easy. We'll get to those details there. But this weekend, if there's one thing that we learned, I think it's that we have to add a day. Just to turning around tomorrow morning, that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. It would be nice to fuck around a bit and fish some smaller water locally and fool around. So I think next time we do this kind of a trip, we're going to do it. But we're going to take the kayaks as well.
That's a good idea.
I think that would be smart. Yeah.
Full send.
Full fucking send. Send that shit. Send me away. Send me on the way.
Off to Neverland.
There you go. How's everything up there, guys? How's life in Massachusetts?
Cold, wet.
It's juicy.
We got some slush today.
Yeah.
Overnight slush.
I heard they downgraded things. I think you mentioned that when we were on the drive back, Sean, that they had downgraded the sort of the impact, I guess, of everything happening.
For the uninitiated and outside of snow areas in the U.S.,
Yep.
what we got today was known as heart attack snow.
Yeah,
because it's
it was
heavy,
wet
it's
as
wet.
shit. Yeah.
Yep, and when you're shoveling it, everyone has heart attacks.
Yeah.
So
not fun.
No, it sucked. It was a mess. Hopefully the temperatures start to rise a bit now that we're into March.
Yep.
Hopefully that was the last gasp of winter, or the only gasp, and hopefully we'll be on the water soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. My goal was, I was really, really kind of hoping that by St. Patty's Day, I would have the boat back in the water. We'll see what happens. I looked at some of the weather, and it makes me a little bit nervous. I should talk about where we are recording this right now. Like, obviously I said Hickson, Tennessee, but even cooler than that is that we're at Talk and Tackle, which is an outfitter, like tackle shop and a lodge with unbelievable, like, this gives me Old Glory vibes, but like Old Glory vibes with like Megabass, and like it really does. Joe, you would love this place.
Yeah, it's crazy. We didn't talk about the show, but when he told me about that place, my sister and her husband ran a bait shop up on the Salmon River for a few years, and they had some rooms attached to their bait shop.
I think it's such a brilliant business plan.
It really is.
You know?
It really is, yeah.
It's wild. I'm
Yep.
going to go ahead. I want to put this up in the background just because it's fancy. Yeah, let's do that. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on. Who even am I anymore? I have no idea. I got to tell you guys. So you want to start with I mean, do you guys want to go through our weeks in review and kind of reverse order? Paul and I will put the cherry on top and break down our thing, or do you want me to dive right in first?
Why don't you guys go last? Joe, who's
Okay.
more boring, me or you?
I actually have a couple things this week that I, did and got going on, but I'll go first. So obviously we're coming off the Springfield Sportsman Show where we all had a blast at.
It was so
Met
good.
a lot of good people. Saw a lot of good products, and we just had fun. It was, my debut, so I was excited, and this is kind of my debut of my little home studio, so I'm pumped about that. But,
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this week I've been talking to Chris from A-Bay Lure Lab, and I'm actually working a little something with him.
Sweet.
Maybe some signature bait or color. So,
Really?
yeah,
Dude, that's awesome.
So we'll I'll talk to you guys offline about that. I got some. He's already sending me prototypes, so I'll show that to you.
Tell me he's calling it "What the fuck is this color?" tell me that's the name. Oh my god.
That would be perfect.
My skin
yeah,
hurts.
Other than that,
WTFITC. Just leave it at the acronym. You're good.
Whitfick.
Yep. There you go.
Other than that, I started a training week today, so that's all I really have.
Super busy. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Totally.
But fishing wise, yeah, just that stuff with A-Bay Lure Lab this week. So we'll see what we have going on with that.
That's awesome, man. That's freaking awesome. Chris over at A-Bay, just like, he puts his heart and his soul into those products.
Oh, he really does.
Do you remember those jerk baits I showed you when we were rigging up last night? Those are from them. My God, like, amazing. And there's going to be some trips up to the St. Lawrence River, Alexandria Bay specifically, because we got to fish with them. They're fantastic folks. And we found out there's one little, like, if there was like one crazy summer, so to speak, there's something fun that's good that happens up there that, I don't know. Are we going to talk about that, Sean?
I was going to go into it right now.
Yeah,
because
I think that's a good idea.
I've been literally laughing about this for an entire week, just based on the circumstances. Now, obviously, I'm going to put a little, disclaimer on here. I'm in no way, shape, or form knocking anybody that was involved in the planning of this, because when you set up tournaments, you try to see as much as you can, both from the fishing point of view and from the, shall we say, civilian point of view, and you try not to double book events. Basically, like when the EKF set up the Connecticut River Trail stop last year.
Yep.
Even though I'm not an EKF director, I was asking about it, and then questions got asked of me, like, what would be a good center point and when should we do it, et cetera. And my first thought was, well, no matter what you do, avoid the 5 colleges graduation 2 weeks or whatever. That's, just because hotels from Vermont, the Vermont line to almost Hartford are booked
Pretty much.
because of those colleges.
Yeah.
There's so many people, and they book them years out. It's crazy. So what happened, and speaking of A-Bay Lures, when we met up with Chris and Christina last week, we had a lot of conversations whenever we could in between recording sessions. And I had mentioned, EKF is doing a tournament on the St. Lawrence River up in that area. And Christina said, "Oh, that's great. When are you guys coming up?" And I pulled up my calendar. I looked and I told her what weekend it was. And she said, "Oh, no, you're going to want to get lodging like tomorrow, like as soon as possible." And I said, it's February. Why would I get something? The tournament's in August. And she said, it's Alexandria Bay Pirate Days. And she had to go help a customer. And I made a face and then went back to recording with you guys. And I looked it up when I got home. And my fucking jaw hit the floor. So apparently, and I'm going to paraphrase here and, tell the story as I know it. Apparently, it used to be 11 days. It may or may not be a weekend or 11 days this year. There's some conflicting reports as to how long the event is. But regardless, for this period of time in the summer, thousands, plural, of people descend on Alexandria Bay, dress up like pirates, get out in their wreck boats, get out in fake pirate ships, shoot cannons, shoot muskets, and then at some point during the weekend, everyone disembarks on the shore, raids the village, pillages it, forces the mayor to surrender. Everyone in the town is then a pirate for the day, and then what my understanding is, then the drinking really starts. And I looked at this and said, we're having a fucking tournament on this river. Now, the tournament stretch is like 32 miles, so we're not going to hit all that traffic, and the St. Lawrence River is busy anyways.
Yeah.
My concern when I saw this was, oh shit, just like Christina had let us know, we're going to have problems with lodging. Like, we have to let people know to book well in advance. Because if we're talking thousands of people, everything's going to be taken up for miles. Campgrounds, Verbos.
Oh, yeah.
Airbnbs, hotels, you name it, is going to be filled up. So I'm looking at this going, oh shit. Now.
Or were you thinking, ho, 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 and a bottle of shit?
Oh, there's a lot of... No. I think the general feeling from everyone I talked to about this fantastic gathering of pirate-colored juggalos is it's going to be an amazing event to be a part of and probably sucky to fish around.
Yeah, I think I agree wholeheartedly. I'm watching some video on YouTube that was just released like within the last few months. I think this is Pirate Days like 2018 or something.
And it's, how bad is it? Just savagery or what?
It's insanity. I mean, I'm gonna hold this up. Like, people have like rope lights in their boats and their stages set up, and there are legitimately pirates walking around.
Yeah, this is something else. So, my first call was to Lauren, and I said, "Hey, Ken is completely exhausted from fishing Lake Murray for a KBF event last week on Sunday." I said, he's going to get back to me tomorrow, but did you know anything about this? And she said, no, nobody does. I said, oh, shit. Yeah. And I explained it to her, and she said, well, I guess I'm going to that tournament and dressing up.
Yeah. So, how cool is that? There's costumes.
Yeah. And that's what I said. I said, all right, good. That'll be fun. And the next morning on the way home as he was driving back, Ken said, all right, what do you got for me? And I said, do you know anything about this? And he said, what? And then I told him the whole thing, and his answer was, are you fucking serious? And again, said the same thing. This sounds like an amazing event that we don't want to fish around, but it sounds like an amazing event. It sounds like a party. I said, yeah. So what I did say was, I laughed. I said, Ken, you unknowingly helped plan a fishing tournament in the middle of a South Park episode.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's
100%.
I also mentioned to him, I said, as an MAKB director, sometimes with some of our special events, like non-trail stops, I'm always throwing a twist in, and it's usually a step too far. Like, it's not just like, hey, let's catch pickerel. It's like, hey, let's catch pickerel, and whoever has the smallest has to take a picture naked, and that's an extra 5 points. Like, shit like that.
Exactly.
I'm just nuts, right?
Yeah.
And Ken always reels it in, pun intended, and says, Sean, that's a little too jigs and bigs. Can we get back on track? Yeah, you're right, Ken, and we get back on track, and we sort our shit out, right? And I said with this, I said, Ken, if I had a year, I don't think I could have planned a jigs and bigs event in the middle of a pirate takeover of a town.
Oh, right.
I said, you have out jigs and bigs me. And he started laughing and said, yes, I have. So
that's kind of awesome.
Yep. Ken did make the announcement, get your lodging. The event will go as planned. Again, we have tons of room around Alexandria Bay and Thousand Islands. Those are the two areas that are going to be
taken over.
Covered in pirates.
Marooned,
covered in pirates, and we'll be fishing around that. So if you are fishing that EKF event in August, please get your lodging as soon as possible because it's gonna be pillaged.
I just kind of want to document the whole thing. I think this is amazing.
I was considering holding up a sign every time somebody went by just to get a laugh and make sure they're not fucking with me. That says something like I have scurvy. I don't know. Nate,
Go.
I told Nate. Nate had a laugh about it. Said he would be fishing the entire tournament with a peg leg. I mean, someone had suggested a special EKF event eye patches, which is really a good idea. Ken, there you go, marketing. No, it was a lot of fun, like just talking about this because I've been like, this is the most composed I've been talking about it since I found out.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is insane. As far as the Sportsman show, I think everything went well. We ended up staying a little bit later than you guys. Oh, Bobby, we have an FTG this week. I
That's
totally
right.
forgot.
I forgot about
We
that.
forgot about our FTG. We do have an FTG this
do.
week.
Well, that's good.
This guy's great.
Do
We'll
tell.
get to him.
Do tell.
Oh, you were there for him.
Yeah, you were there for him. You saw him. Trust me. When we bring it up, you're going to be like, "Oh yeah,
okay.
that's right."
Yeah.
Yeah. There was an
But
FTG.
other than that, I mean, the Springfield show, obviously, our friends at Berkshire Bass were there. We had a lot of fun with Nor'easter.
Yeah, those guys.
John and-
That was awesome.
Yep. Fresh Baits stopped in. I mean, I can go down the list. Abe, we spent a lot of time with because they were our next door neighbor.
You're going to hear more from Abe soon too.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And on a note, Timmy Jakes was hanging out with me at our booth when you had gone to pick up your camping gear, and one of his buddies with, I believe, NEBA. If I'm wrong on that, Tim, I apologize, and Chris. We got to talking, and when we were done talking about fishing, this gentleman left, and Tim had said to me, he's a local director for Park and Rec at this one town. I said, oh shit. And I went running and had a conversation with him. Apparently one of his assistants has the same idea that I did about some summertime basketball for the kids, for the high school kids. We'll see where that goes. Emails were sent. No, I mean, it was just a great weekend we had at the show. I think you guys probably feel the same. It was obviously
That was awesome.
Joe's intro to this insanity, and
Yeah.
What a way to get into it too.
Oh, what
Yeah.
a great start that was.
So good.
Yep, we had a lot of jerky, and
We did.
yeah, it was a good time. The only other things I have to say were the basketball season for me ended today. I have just a pizza party left for the fourth graders.
Yeah.
We got a mismatch in our tournament. We got our doors blown off, and I think I mentioned last week, right, that the high school tournament, we got to the tournament for the first time in 5 years, and unfortunately met a much better team from a bigger school, and that's kind of where it hurts the school I coach at. We have, I think, total population of eligible students is under 100.
Yeah. Small school, and it's tough.
Yeah, and that doesn't even count guys and girls.
Yeah.
That's the whole student populace is under 100 for a high school. It's a tiny high school.
Yeah.
So I had to collapse the JV team by the end of the season because we didn't have enough players.
Yeah.
So here's to next year. Basketball's been fun. I've killed my winter this way. It's been an absolute blast. Saw a lot of people from the past actually, which was kind of neat. There are people that are that were playing when I was playing, and they're still kicking around one role or another. And so thanks to everybody who let me coach for their organizations. Hope I'm not too much of an embarrassment. I did kick a bleacher really hard today because I got upset. I mean, I kicked the shit out of a bleacher.
How bad did you mess your foot up? Is it like banged up bad?
No, there's. I'm sure tomorrow it'll be bruised. But when you say man to man, and all the kids look at you and say, "Yeah, man to man," and then one of them is wandering around playing zone by himself, and his man walks into the hoop, smiles at everyone, takes 6 pictures, and then scores an easy layup, I tend to get a little pissed.
Fair. Yeah,
but
that's totally understandable.
4th grade, high school, I don't care. That shit happens. I'm not happy, and I took my ill will out on a bleacher, and some of the parents looked at me like, "You all right?" And I just smiled and said, "They're kids." But no, that's kids. That. Other than that, I'm heading down in a week's time.
It's gonna get gnarly for you
to do the rigging on the NAR. Yep, and then awesome. I'm hoping my arm has actually gotten to the point where I have a lot of range of motion. Sleeping's been better. I'm still wearing a sleeve for those of you guys that are watching. Wearing a compression sleeve, but it's like one of those things. Bobby, you ever have like a bad cut? I'm sure, Joe, you probably had a bad cut at some point or another, right? All right. You know how like when you're healing, you can kind of feel the nerves like stitching themselves back together inside, and it's that weird healing process. And you're like, "Fuck, that's weird." It feels like they're not totally connected, but they're trying. Exactly. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So that's how my whole.
There's a certain sensation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how my elbow feels right now. And it's just like, fucking weird. So hopefully another 2 weeks of wearing a sleeve and taking care of myself and really not doing too much, and I'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to be helping Ted out with my rigging.
Yep.
He's got the game plan ready to go, and we got a date for it, and I'll be down there.
There's another friend of the show that's getting into a NAR.
Oh yeah,
Alex Rudd.
Oh really?
Yeah, I talked to him last night. He was unable to meet us to fish today, so it was the Polish Hammer and myself and Caleb's boat. But yeah, Alex had messaged. He's like, I'm working on getting my. He's got a pro angler. I think it's a Hobie. I think it's a PA-14, and he's like, I got to get back to that like bicycle style. He's like, my legs are just killing me, but he's looking to sell it, and it's like it's rigged up and ready. But yeah, he's getting a NAR, and I told him, I said, everybody that I've heard from that's picked up one, and you being one of them also, is the expectations are very high, or they love them if they've already been in it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, ready to rock.
I love it.
Put in my quick 3 bells plug. If you're looking for a kayak,
There's our
they rig 'em.
barbecue.
Right back. Talk to Lauren. Talk to Ted. 3 bells. If you can't get in touch with them, if the internet doesn't work, send us a fucking message somehow. Smoke signal, whatever.
Do whatever you got to do.
Yep. Get in touch with them, folks. Good shit.
It's freaking awesome, man.
Yep. I also did put a giant order in with eBay.
You did put an order in with eBay.
I
That's
did.
good.
I said I gave because I know by the time I really got to look at the lures, there was a certain pattern that I like picking up, and they were pretty much gone. So I just told Chris, I said, expect a text from me or an email now. And also, I should make mention, Chris is a veteran, and he had some questions about a process he's going through, and I had, with my experience, had some answers for him, at least some directions to go in. So he and I have kind of been chit-chatting about that with
awesome.
Moderate regularity. But then I went ahead and said, I pretty much want everything, 2 of each in this color, and here we go. So
that's freaking awesome, man. I got all my eBay stuff that I picked up, the jerks, those 90 size jerks.
Yep.
All in my day box for today. I didn't even get to like throwing any of them. I'll get to why in just a moment. But yeah, Sean, you and I had a little adventure.
We did. I forgot to talk about that.
We had a little adventure. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
Let's talk about the second stop. The first stop is going to remain nameless.
Let's just say that we found a little local treasure.
Yep.
And I'm impressed. Very impressed. At said local treasure, I got some great stuff that I'm really excited about. But we went to we took a ride to Cabela's. You and I haven't done that in ever. I don't think you and I have ever gone to Cabela's together.
Didn't we go once? And I just it was a quick trip, and I picked something up, or was that with somebody else?
I don't know. Might have been with somebody else. That other fat guy with a beard you hang out with regularly. Maybe. I don't know.
I do have a few.
He keeps a gaggle, folks.
Bearded compatriots.
Okay. So Nelson chimes in. He goes, Bobby, are you sunburnt or is it the lighting? Nelson, it is not the sunburnt. I think I have sunstroke. We'll explain why momentarily. Everybody's going to find out. Everybody in the news is. Let's.
Back to our adventure.
So our adventure, we went and I wanted to get, there was some terminal tackle that I needed. I needed to get some jig heads and I needed to get some fluorocarbon because it was time to re-spool these bad boys. And I had from one of my, I forget which team it was it Tally Hose? It might have been the Tally Hose. One of my trivia teams had gifted me a Bass Pro gift card this year for Christmas. I was like, this is great. This is going to come in handy. And I knew I was going to go and use it before Chickamauga. And that's what I did. We had a good time with it. Made sure to stop by the fish tank and look at the absolute monstrous examples of freshwater fish that they have on display. A lot of eels. I think they're
tunnel of fish.
Tunnel of fish. Tunnel flesh.
Oh, gross. You don't want that.
And then, the rest of my week was basically like flying through trivia nights just to get to Thursday, because Thursday was my last game of the week. I wrapped all that up, and then I went and I met this guy, and we hit the road for 14 plus hours. In total, we made it here in just over 15 hours, counting all of our stops, including breakfast.
Yep.
And my God. So we made amazing time. Like, I think we were in Virginia when you took over driving, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got all the way down into Virginia, and Paul took over and drove for a little bit. We each took like a 20-minute nap, just to kind of like get our bearings and everything. We pulled in here, and it was just after, 1:30? I think when we got here.
Yeah, it was before 2.
Yeah, it was before 2 o'clock. We got here, and we pulled into Talk and Tackle, and I walked in, and I got to tell you, first off, this shop is amazing. They've got such a wide assortment of fantastic gear, and most of the staff, they're also guides. Like, they know this area really, really well, and they have lodging upstairs. And what they've got 3 different rooms, which they've aptly named the largemouth room, the smallmouth room, that's where we are, and then the spotted room.
Yep.
Awesome. Like, this is like, if you're coming down to Chickamauga to fish, you want to definitely contact Talk and Tackle, book your room. There's a little lounge area. That's where we're recording this right now. You guys will see pictures on Instagram and stuff of the place. It's really, really nice. It's a nice leather couch here, a couple of seats, this nice large table. One of those, those resin tables that have a wood core in there. Well, this one here has a bunch of what looks like rock from a local body of water. It's got baits, sitting at the bottom. The Massachusetts state fish, the bloated white Senko, in here as well.
It's in here.
It was awesome. So we had come into town, and we're like, we're going to rig our stuff, knowing full well that we're going with Caleb Bell, who is a guide in this area, who is going to be stocked with anything that we would need to throw. But basically, we were putting together day boxes of our confidence baits, really is what it kind of got down to. Stuff that we're like, given this time of year, what's going on with the conditions, what do we want to throw? And we kind of downsized a lot of what we were doing. Like, we brought minimal stuff as far as rods and reels. Thinking that, because we both use left-hand retrieve, thinking that Caleb would have all right-hand retrieve stuff, most likely. That was not the case whatsoever. He had left and right-hand retrieve stuff all over the place. Caleb is working full-time now as a guide. And if you guys are looking to have a great experience on Chick, just to throw it in reference there, the day before he was out with another client, caught an 8.5.
Nice.
Just an absolute slob. And we saw the pictures, and we were actually throwing the same baits today, but we're not that angler. No, finding the big girls was not necessarily there. So we didn't break any records or anything like that. But I got to tell you, we had an amazing day. This is probably, for myself and Paul, this is probably the best fishing day that we've ever had together.
Absolutely.
I would put it right on par with really Champlain with my dad.
I thought you were going to say attempted homicide on Quabbin.
All right, Bobby.
When you set the bar that low, what do you got for me, Joe?
The most important question.
Yep.
What kind of boat?
Oh, the boat? Oh, what is this? What was it? It's an 18-foot aluminum.
I took a picture of it.
You took a picture of it. All right. We'll get that information for you. He does also all kinds of stuff with live bait as well.
Sea Arc.
Oh, it was a Sea Arc is what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Suzuki outboard,
Yep.
And I got to tell you, definitely got the job done. But he'll go out there and he'll charter with live bait and stuff. So he's like, yeah, I'm gonna throw some bed liner in here, and like this, we're gonna get rid of this carpet because it's rough. But man, and you can tell he knows that lake like the back of his hand. Like, I mean, just like going spot to spot to spot seamlessly. Like no real it's just absolutely unbelievable. There were 3 tournaments happening today on that lake while we were out there. And for most of the time that we were out there, I didn't know it. Like, I wouldn't have known. It was crazy. Like, there was some boat traffic, but not anything crazy.
No.
So we'll go kind of play by play. We get to the ramp. We get up nice and early, and I had a plan. Anytime I'm going out for a day that big, what I do, I like to get up way early, have a cup of coffee, drink some water, and then allow kind of time to do my business, get prepared, double check all my gear, load things up, and go. I don't eat anything because I hate having to shit off a boat.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it. I just do. So, and Paul can attest. He tried the Bobby roast beef plan for success, and
It was brilliant.
worked like a
worked
charm.
Perfect.
And now we're gonna eat like snakes, like a snake diet, 5,000 calories. We're gonna dislocate our jaw and just cram food into our gullets.
Snake meal.
Snake meal. So we get to the ramp, and we jump in the boat, get all our gear and everything, and we're on our way. We're fishing this giant flat. Like, this flat was the size of most ponds that I fish. It was just huge. And he's like, I'm thinking cranks, and I'm thinking chatterbaits. Beautiful. Let's do it. We're throwing, basically the short version of this was almost every single bait that we threw got munched. The trick was to put it in that one little circle around their head. Like, you had to land it in that space. The water was maybe 3 or 4 inches of visibility.
Yeah.
It was so muddy.
It was.
And there were parts that were better than others. Like, you could see a defined mud line. Like, you were looking at like Yoo-hoo. I think that's how Caleb actually described it at one point. He's like, yeah, see the mud line over there? He's like, it's like you're going from like mop water to Yoo-hoo. And I'm like, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah. And most of the challenge for him was finding clear water, because we got hammered with rain. There were tornado warnings when we drove down. We come down, which happens all the time. Like, nobody was freaked out. Paul and I were just like, are you kidding me? We're just going to go flying, out of this boat, get sucked up into the whatever. Today was fine. We had bluebird skies, very little wind, though we did have some gusts, some pretty good gusts here and there. And like I said, with all the rain that came down, I think it rained for like 45 minutes, but it was like 3 inches of rain. It was insane. It was ridiculous. Dumped all this rain, muddied everything up. So we found a few really interesting spots. Some interesting spots had like where there's natural springs. So you just had like a hole in there that was clear. And then all around it was just muddy water. It was nuts. I got on the first fish. This is where the title of this podcast comes into play. I was ripping around a 6 Sense lipless, and I snagged a tiny yellow perch right in the booty hole. Right in the, we got him good. That's what we did. And I freed this guy, liberated him, and sent him on his way, and it was good. Okay, skunk's out of the boat. Awesome. Then you got on your first one, right?
Yeah.
Now, Caleb had been getting on fish here and there, throwing a lot of the same baits, mainly a flat-sided squarebill, this really nice Spro one, too. I threw that for a little while as well. He was getting bites there. He got bites on a gold spinnerbait, as well as swim baits. And did he get a bite on the jig or no? I don't think he got a bite on the jig.
No, I did.
Paul got some jig fish today, though.
Yep.
Yeah. Paul got like 3 or 4.
Jig on
Jig
jigs?
fish,
No,
didn't
2.
you? Just 2?
Just
okay,
2, yeah.
2. So you got a couple on jigs, and then Paul started throwing swim baits, hollowtail swim baits for the first time, with a very cool custom head, screw lock head. So these baits weren't going anywhere. This was good stuff. So we go around and we get in this one spot. I think that's where you caught your 2 jig fish.
Yeah.
And then we go up around this one little cove where there's all these down trees, these laydowns coming down. And I decided I was going to start throwing a swim bait. So I threw, it was a 3.3-inch Kitech on a 1/4 ounce Berkeley head. And I'm just kind of tracing the outline of these trees, and I hooked up on my first largemouth, which was actually ended up being the biggest one of the day, and it came in at about 17 inches. Yeah. Like, we did well. I think between all 3 of us, we probably caught 15 fish 12 to 15 in total. No, more than that.
More than that,
More
yeah.
than that. More than that. Because Caleb was
caught-
actually doing all right. You did 7.
I caught like 7 or 8, and he was definitely catching some too.
I got 6, 3 of which were bass. And I caught one other yellow perch, which I caught on the bait that's going to be a bait of the week this week, which is a very hard to find bait. Very, very hard to find. I'm finding. And
Was that one also secured anally?
no, that one ate the sucker. And
good.
what was the other one? I caught my first white bass ever. And that was that on the Caleb special, the hollow body swim bait? I think it was.
Yes,
I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, these swim baits are crazy. 4.5 inch, and the color that he
great.
uses is like the brightest, craziest looking thing you've ever seen. I'll show you guys what they are. I don't want to blow up his spot or anything, because when I went into the shop this morning just to see if there was anything else I wanted to pick up while I was in there, I went in, and of course I bought stuff because I have a serious problem. Joe knows this firsthand. I have a serious addiction here. I go in and I said, "Oh yeah, so what do you think we're going to be throwing?" They're like, "Well, this is the one, and this is the color that you want, but you'll notice they're all sold out. It's because he probably bought them last night." He's like, "They're gone." So he's like, "You guys are good." I mean, it was awesome. We were all over the lake. Like, we were all over this body of water. It was crazy. And we were out, I think we actually got on the water like 30 minutes early, and then we got back about almost an hour late.
Yeah.
Than what we were expecting. So when we put in some time. And I mean, we got some numbers. We didn't get the bigs, but next time, that's what it's for. Next time we're going to get them. But I mean, Paul fished his ass off today. I'm impressed. This was his first day on a bass boat
It was.
ever.
No shit.
Yeah, it was such a good time. Absolute blast. There were some little jokes that I think are going to make their way. I never realized that Caleb had never heard the term jabroni before. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I never
liked
heard the
it.
term jabroni before, and I was like,
How
huh.
old is he?
He's younger. I want to say he's maybe about Joe's age, maybe. Yeah.
That's unacceptable to not
Yeah,
know that.
I'm surprised. I was. He's like, I like that jabroni. I like that.
Considering possibly the most well-known actor in Hollywood the past 10 years used that as a catchphrase for about 15 to 20 years, you would think you'd know that. You know what I mean?
Well, and it also, like, the term jabroni also was used in It's Always Sunny. So, and that has like, that's like this generation's Seinfeld,
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's out there. I feel good. I shared the wealth. Yeah, you're right. It has been about 15 years. Like, The Rock's been throwing around jabroni.
He started throwing that around in
Yeah. Like,
98.
yeah.
So it's been
Longer than that.
yeah,
Yeah.
15 no.
Well, it's
23,
2023,
25
25 years. Holy shit.
Yep.
God damn it. It was out of this world. So let's talk about the little pink elephant that nobody wants to right here. You might look at me and think, wow, Bobby's head looks a lot like a 6-pound boiled lobster, and it feels that way. And so what happened was this earlier. I had said to Paul, I said, look, hey, when we go on any like real runs that are any like distance at all, I go, basically, if you see the rods getting strapped to the deck, put your hat on backwards. Really important. Of which I did. Every time. Every time. What ended up happening was Paul was in the middle seat, and I use this term seat loosely. He was in the middle between Caleb and I, and went to like, I don't know, would you go to adjust your hat or something like that?
No. I had I listened to your advice.
Yeah.
I think I might have not done that like once or twice, but every time we would take off, I would spin my hat around too. I must have turned my head or something, and the wind caught my hat. So
That's what it was?
So I had
that's totally not your fault.
My hand was behind Rob's, like behind Rob's back. So natural instinct, my hat is coming off. So
It's a natural way we like to sit.
yeah. So I went up to save my hat, and in process, I
Popped the brim.
I popped his.
So my Lockwood hat went bye. With my angler, what do you call it? My angler button.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, not my pin.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't. That's on the Jigs and Bigs hat. That's on the hat I was wearing. Yeah.
The angler app thing.
Yes, the button.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's fine because I realized that battery had died, so it was useless to me anyway. So that's what it gets. It gets thrown out. So yeah, my hat went, and this was like pretty early on.
It was.
like the second run.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. So I tried to keep my hood on as much as I could. But like I said, bluebird skies, like really bright sun, and I'm just like cooking under this thing. So I take it off, and I'm like, all right, we'll switch back and forth. We'll go full exposed face and head, and then we'll throw the hood on. And this is what we got. You know, mistakes were made, people. Mistakes were made.
I did offer my hat.
You did. I couldn't take it on you, man.
But no, I had two hats. I told you you can use my hooks.
Oh yeah, your knit cap. Yeah.
But clearly, I
You
think
wouldn't have wanted
You
that
had
after
two pairs of gloves this entire time.
I think at this point Bobby was a little pissed because he thought
I totally thought you were like, oh hey, boom. I totally
Right.
did. I was like, oh, all right. Well,
So you were just like, no, I'll be fine.
I'm like, all right. I'm fine. It's fine. It's all right.
I'm sorry.
So there was that. Yeah, what an awesome trip. So
That was great.
We get back, and the first thing I did actually was I marched into Talking Tackle, and I said, because Caleb had told me, he's like, oh, if you like that bait, which you'll hear in Bait of the Week, he says, if you like that bait, he's like, that shop is one of the only shops in like 500 miles that you're going to find this at. He's like, you should look and see. And I was going to go buy them out of everything that was a green pumpkin or a perch pattern for our local waters. And yeah, they're sold out. So the quest continues. There are some, I guess, on the way. So I'm going to be making an order. And then come to find out, like a bunch of the dudes that are friends of the owners of the shop and friends of the folks who work here, some of them are New Englanders. So you'll be hearing from some of them too, from Mass and Rhode Island.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. So small world. We had a good time though, man. I think as far as, getting on, we got some numbers. It would have been great to get, an 8 or a 9 or something, or just one big female. Water temps down here, the highest one we saw was 56.
Yeah.
Highest we saw.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's perfect priest.
I know.
Dude.
I know. That's why I think that they were eating everything we threw at them. The laundry list was lipless, square bills, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, swim baits, jigs. What else did we throw that they ate? There were 7 or 8 in total. Oh yeah, some chatterbaits. I mentioned that. There was a couple other things that may have been in there as well, but yeah, every single bait that got thrown, they were eating. It was just a matter of like getting it right on them with the dirty water, and it was just nuts. So it was literally chuck and wine for a lot of it. The swim baits that we were using were pretty badass. The swim bait that I caught my first bass on was pretty awesome, and these bass are really light in color. I think that's just from the dirty water. Yeah. You'll see in the pictures, like they're very, very light. And in fact, there was, I think the last one I caught, I was like, is this a hybrid? Like something about this fish looks very, very different than what I'm used to seeing. So, but yeah, it was crazy. We had ourselves a good time. I'm going to be coming back here. It's pretty freaking badass. I love it.
Now, did you guys get on any smallies or spots?
The first largemouth I caught, I thought might have been a spot, and Caleb even said, he's like, that might be a spot, but totally smooth tongue, so no spots there. They have them. And we didn't catch any smallies either.
No.
There were some spots that I just saw as we were going by that I was like, I'll bet you that's a great spot to catch smallies. And these were the deepest areas up against rock walls and stuff. But yeah, we did all right. It was pretty fun, and we will be back. In fact, Caleb said, come in next January. He's like, trust me. He's like, you're not going to be doing any fishing up there. Come back down in January. He's like, we'll have a blast. Done deal.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm putting some time in my calendar. But good stuff. Good for
Awesome,
stuff.
man. What'd you guys do
That's
for
awesome.
food?
So, for food. God, I can't believe I didn't even mention this. So there's one big thing that happened this week was we were driving down and we hit up a spot called Bojangles. Now, Bojangles has been mentioned on the show as like kind of the holy grail of fried chicken. But what makes it so unique is they do breakfast. And it's great. It's really great. So
good.
we did like they do like little breakfast like biscuit sandwiches and stuff. I did one with a chicken fillet, a Cajun chicken fillet with pimento cheese. Definitely recommend. 10 out of 10. What did you did a sausage, egg, and cheese, I think? Yeah. Sausage, egg, and cheese. And then we're at the drive up and, the woman at the speaker is just like, would you guys like to upgrade your bow rounds to a medium for like $1? And I was like, when we're on a trip like this, we say yes. Yes, absolutely. You guys haven't ever had bow rounds? No. Bow rounds are kind of like, imagine like a giant tater tot that they pushed down and made like just a disc. And it's got some seasoning in there, so there's a little more going on than just like fried potato. These are amazing. Well, what she said afterwards was something like, would you guys like to add I think she said
Bowberries
for $1.50. And I was like, yes. Do you know who you're talking about? What these are like either a mixed berry type biscuit all by itself, and she puts 2 of them in this like styrofoam to-go container and proceeds to cover them in this hot like glaze. There's just ribbons of hot glaze over this thing, and then she closes it up and hands it to us. To which Paul and I immediately erupted in laughter because we were reminded by a Louis C.K. bit about Cinnabon that some of you might know. So we kept referring to the fucking glazed bowberries as hot jizz.
Fair enough.
The glaze
It was almost
very,
like perch eggs.
the glaze was very cummy.
So we had a good field day with that. We got in and we were exhausted by the time we got in, and we decided we were just going to order what is it? Uber
Guys.
Eats. We had 5 Guys,
Yep.
right? Okay, cool. And then we just ordered some barbecue. This is the first meal we eat today.
Yeah.
We just ordered some barbecue, which is, we have people joining the site. Look at that. It's Edley's Barbecue in Chattanooga. And I ordered a Nashville-style hot pork platter, which is kind of like Nashville hot chicken, but with their pulled pork. So I'm interested to see how that goes. And Paul, did you get the straight-ahead pulled pork?
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a lot of pork.
A lot of pork.
A lot of pork, a lot of sides. I think we got the same sides too, mac and cheese and beans.
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to be a fragrant night tonight in that room. I'm just letting you know.
It's not a huge room, so it's gonna
Fragrant.
fragrant.
I might open the window. I might open the window, man.
You might have to.
might.
It may be worth it.
It might.
may-
It's probably going to. I don't know about worth it. I think it might be a necessity.
Or we can fast forward to 2 weeks from now when Joe and I are wearing all black. We're speaking. Man, Bobby and Paul, I mean, we would have never thought asphyxiation from farts, but
They gave it their all in Tennessee.
here we are.
But we both know that's exactly how they would have wanted to go.
Exactly.
I remember Bobby dearly talking one day about, man, I can't wait to go to Tennessee to choke on Paul's farts to death.
Oh, I should mention, Paul's wife made us chocolate chip bacon cookies for the ride.
I'm surprised you made it there and you weren't strangled by farts on the way down.
Oh, there was a few times we had to roll the windows down.
And I'll tell you what, that rear hatch 4Runner window dropped down. Like once, that was awesome. We're like, oh yeah, I'll turn the fan on. I'm hanging out the window like like Ace Ventura. going down 81. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I need my car detailed. It's bad.
Windows blew out. Looks like you guys hit a fucking landmine. Boom! Cop on the roadside. It's like, oh, they must have had the cookies.
New guys on the side going, coroner comes over. Oh my God.
Smells like a slaughterhouse.
Why are all the jig heads gone? I don't know what happened.
They all left?
No. They're here. Both of them.
But they were so good.
It was, yeah.
They were so good.
Oh, yeah. It was fantastic. And then we're actually coming home tomorrow. We're leaving by 11 o'clock, and we're going home through Nashville.
No.
So we're going to stop in Nashville. I was trying to run an errand for a friend of mine who there's this vodka distillery in Nashville, and I've had their vodka. It is the best I've ever had. It's out of this world. Sadly, they're not open Saturday. No, Saturday. Sadly, they're not open Sunday or Monday.
Yeah.
So I can't pick up. I can't do his bootlegging. Sorry, John Lumber. I apologize. It happens. But yeah, I shot him the message. He's like, I can't believe you remembered. I was like, well, I'm a piece of shit, but I'm not that big of a piece of shit. Just a little bit.
Not when it comes to booze.
Not when it comes to hooch. Yeah, I mean, so that's the trip so far in a nutshell. I'm not fully here mentally right now. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And I'm starving. But we'll get to that later. So I think we should. Why don't we take a quick break, and we'll come back around and we'll talk. Well, actually, did I miss anything that was in the intro that I mentioned, Sean? So we got bait of the week. We got everything. Your NAR rigging. We got all that stuff. Yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that? We'll do FTG and our bait of the week in the next segment. Then we'll wrap things up. This episode, folks, is not going to be like the biggest ever. You will see in the cover artwork here, though, is a picture of some of the bigs. Now, the fish that we did catch in Tennessee, in order to throw them in the box, they got to be a 15-inch minimum. So when we realized that after I caught my first largemouth, I was like, you know what, let's box this one, and then we'll go and we'll get that picture at the end of the day. And like, it was after that, it was just dink, 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 dink. And then we caught a couple that were over 15. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're in business. We'll take a short break, guys. We will see you in about 90 seconds. Don't go too far. Much more Jigs and Bigs coming back right after this.
Jigs and Bigs wants to take a moment to say thank you to our partners for helping us continue to push the limits of our fishing adventures and bring you amazing long-form content. For all your premium kayak needs, we partner with Three Bells Outfitters, located along Smith Cove in Niantic, Connecticut. Three Bells is your go-to location for kayaks and accessories from Hobie, Native, Bonafide, Jackson, Yak Attack, Naqua, Boondocks, Burley Pro, and many more. Financing options are available to upgrade you and your kayak fishing experience. White glove delivery service is also available. Visit 3bellsoutfitters.com for more info, and don't forget to tell them that Jigs and Bigs sent you. When it comes to high-quality polarized sunglasses, we've partnered with Torres. They provide stylish sunglasses in a variety of frames that are light and fit comfortably on your face. The polarization cuts glare and allows you to see the whole picture, helping you identify what's below the water's surface. They have a 60-day, risk-free trial, lifetime warranty, and free shipping. Plus, you can save yourself 10% with the code JIGSandBIGS10 at checkout. Visit Torres.com to check out their selection. That's www.torege.com. Again, we cannot thank our partners enough for their support. Please consider supporting them and supporting the show in the same process. Thanks.
It's just, you got four dudes on the internet talking about fishing and vajobos, apparently, which is now a thing. So go and get your Jigs and Bigs merch, and now your autographed vajobos for yourself over at jigsandbigs.com.
If you're a patron, you'll know what we're talking about. If you're
It's
not,
true. If you're, yeah,
become
that's
a
the
patron.
This is the shit that you miss if you're not a patron. I was talking about some jig head shit here, and talking about the tournaments, and talking about how this amazing little core audience that we have of jig heads is amazing, and the shit they get to do. We might see some new jig heads joining that are from all the way down here, which is awesome. But we have an FTG for you guys, and this one is it's related to the Springfield Sportsman Show. 100% it is. And it's probably for the best that I can't remember this vendor's name of their business or what it even was that they sold necessarily, which is a shame because it was, I believe, on their trailer, which was blocking the door from like several other cars, including myself, to be able to pull in. You remember, Joe. Like, so
Ring bell, Joe, huh?
we broke down our booth on Sunday, and at this point I get it, everybody's just exhausted. This one Yahoo in a trailer pulls down the ramp from this garage door, and if he would have pulled maybe like 5 to 10 feet further, everybody would have been able to work around him, but he didn't. He was there breaking down his booth and loading things a piece at a time. Now, Joe and I had broken down the Jigs and Bigs booth, and we'd created basically a pile of everything that was ready to get loaded in the truck so that I could pull down, we could just load it in right there and just pull right out. But instead, Joe and I took turns going back and forth, carrying armloads of stuff outside, as well as like 5 other exhibitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 feet. 5 feet, and this guy would.
5
It was
feet
so
would've done
close. His truck was so close to the door.
Yeah.
Another 5 feet would have let every vehicle in. The whole floor was open for vehicles. There wasn't a single vehicle in there except for fucking Dickbag and his trailer.
Oh, definitely.
5 more feet. He not only. It's one thing to pull your truck in. Everybody was pulling their trucks in. Well, not from that door.
Yeah.
But everybody was pulling their trucks in. All you had to do was 5 more feet. There was enough room to go around. People could circle around, but
Blow donuts.
Instead, we peacefully at 3 bells broke the whole thing down an hour while watching everyone else that was ready to go either sit there or fucking move the shit outside themselves because this guy took up the entire fucking doorway.
And there were 3 or 4 other vehicles that were out there, 2 of which were like U-Haul type box trucks that were waiting to get in. So I thought, I was like, is this like the way it works? And then when I walked in and I saw what was going on, I'm like, nope.
Yeah, one of those was 3 bells, but we had enough
gotcha.
time to break it down that it didn't affect us. All right, but you guys, because you were ready to go, it fucked you guys over.
We got fucked.
I remember
Right in the vajelbo.
I remember 2 things about this guy because
Yeah.
I did look. First, it was a hunting guide. I remember that.
Yeah.
Second, from Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
We didn't even get a sorry or anything from him.
Yeah. Yeah. This
I can't believe
the
it.
nicest people on the planet.
Yeah.
This guy just was not. But yeah, it was Nova Scotia. I remember.
Nicest people, poorest drivers, possibly.
Yeah.
Well,
That's where we're at.
and you're talking to a guy who recently drove through Virginia. Eesh.
Yeah.
It's rough. So I mean that covers that, but I got something good for you guys in this next little segment that I think you're really gonna like. This is something.
Jigs and Bigs, Bait of the Week.
This is the oh my god, you guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Seriously.
Seriously, you guys. So today we were. This is after I started getting bit on a swim bait. Paul was throwing a swim bait, and there was this one spinning rod kind of going around between myself and. Did you throw around this bait?
No,
you didn't.
No.
So between myself and Caleb at different spots, you guys have heard of the Z-Man Chatterbait Mini Max, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was throwing around a Jackal. I believe it's called a Break Blade. Okay. And it's a super finessey chatterbait. It is super tiny. I think what I was throwing around was an 1/8 ounce or a 3/16. So tiny, with almost like a finesse jig style skirt where it's got that finesse little haircut there. There are these two little wire sort of they almost look like weed guards, and they were turned down. I don't know if you could spin them around and turn them up to make it more weedless. I didn't get hung up on anything, but I think like the first 2 fish that I caught on them were just back to back, bang, bang. I mean, unbelievable. As soon as you turn this reel, this thing is humming in the water. It vibrates like crazy. And the trailer was Sean, you would probably know this. What's the smallest size Zoom fluke?
Oh man, it's
Like
like
super
a
tiny.
what do they
This-
call it? The finesse fluke or something? It's like maybe 3.5 inches long.
No, this is smaller than that. This
this
is
is
probably
way
an inch and a
smaller,
half.
Teeny fluke. Hold on, I'll get you an answer. You keep talking.
It's so small. It's ridiculous. This thing was absolute, but it got crushed. And when like they bit, it was nuts. I was yo-yoing it off the bottom, and it was out of this world. And I need some of these in my life.
Tiny fluke.
Tiny flukes.
It's a tiny
Yep.
fluke. Yeah. I mean, this thing is so compact. And I know people, they get really upset about throwing these super finessey baits. But there's something about when it's a small moving presentation like this that makes it like, why would you not? You know, I there are bodies of water that I actually want to try one of these in the Swift.
You won't do it. You're scared.
I am scared. I'm scared because I can't find any of these Jackal mini bladed jigs.
I'm looking at them, and I kind of have a feeling I know why. So I just looked at them, and they are actually considered a JDM bait.
Yes, they are JDMs.
Yep. So that's probably why.
Yeah. And that's why Caleb told me, he's like they have them at Talk and Tackle, but they're probably the only place in like at least 500 miles that you're
And they
gonna
are
find
not
them.
cheap.
No, they're not. They are not. It
We're
is.
talking jackhammer expensive or what's?
We're talking a little bit more actually.
Yeah.
Right now.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah, they're not cheap.
About $15.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Why didn't they call me the fuck your face? Because
Yeah.
that's
What did I catch on those? I didn't catch the white bass. I caught my second yellow perch on one, and then I caught a couple of largemouth on it. And I mean, when they bit, it was just like bang. And this, I couldn't believe, like the second you turn the crank on your handle or on your reel, it's just like, and it's like a higher pitch. If it was to put it in, I guess in that kind of term, like just a faster rate of vibration. Unbelievable.
So I'm actually, if you like, so I ran a bladed jig last year. That was kind of like that. It actually has a carbon fiber blade. It's made by a company, Picasso.
it's a shock blade.
That's what it is. Yeah,
I love those big shock blades up in Minnesota. That's all I use.
yeah,
Big
it's
ones,
a-
1 ounces.
See, I didn't use anything that big, but I that was my go-to bladed jig last year.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was floored. I kind of thought you've heard a lot this last year about the Mini Max. Everybody's like, oh, the Mini Max is great. I want to say Ramon Outdoors throws a Mini Max pretty routinely because he fishes like a lot of ultralight stuff. And I want to say that he was throwing it and getting like really good success. But I was floored with this thing. I'm like, this is cool. This is one hell of a combo. So I'm just saying, if you're entered in the Jigs and Bigs multi-species tournaments, this is the kind of bait that might be your ticket. You know what I mean? You might want to look at one of these because it'll get munched. And you're not just, it's not your typical bait. Cast it, drag it real slow. It's not your typical finesse bait. It's a moving presentation. It's just tiny. Imagine how fun that would be on a BFS combo.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Now, do they? I'm trying to look it up as we talk here.
Yep.
Do they make a standard size? Do they make 3/8 half ounce?
They do.
Okay.
Yep, they do. And I'm sure that those are fucking badass too.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, I'm just like, but again, I got my chatterbait guy. The good old Matt Thayer down at Klondike Custom Creations. I did not throw those white and chartreuse spinnerbaits from him. We were so shallow. So shallow, you know.
Yeah, those are phenomenal baits. A little too heavy for the shallow water.
For where we were, they were just a little bit too shallow. Yeah, we were throwing lighter spinner baits, but that color would have slammed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially in that muddy water.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would have absolutely crushed it. This is it was awesome. So I'm going to be looking around for some of those. I'd like to throw some of those in, especially by the time we get to May. I just like to get my hands on some because I think that in terms of like multi-species fishing, zoom out.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Vajello.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that concludes it for Bait of the Week, guys. Check out that Jackal, the little super tiny bladed jig. And I think you're going to be happy, And then join the freaking multi-species tournaments when they start in April.
Hey, we don't need the drums, but I might as well throw something in on that. So
Go for it.
mentioned last week, we might have a little surprise for our listeners that are planning on jumping in on this the first time.
Yep.
We are going to try. I'm not going to hold myself to actually doing it, but we're going to try and set up a trial tournament for a couple of weeks before the tournament starts.
I love that idea.
Hopefully free. If it costs money, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not having anybody pay extra money just to try stuff out.
No, not to try it. No.
Yeah, we can do a trial and error thing with new folks.
Yep.
Anybody who's fished these tournaments before knows that I'm really good about, making sure that the right thing is done and keeping things fair to experienced competitors. But we're going to try and set up a Fishing Chaos free trial tournament just to get your feet wet for chronic trips and jigs and bigs.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll see how it goes. And that should tie into folks being able to pick up some catch boards from Three Bells.
Yep.
So this is a multifaceted, project I've got going on here.
Cool.
I'll know more about it by the end of next week, and I will give you guys an update.
I love that. I think that's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody I've talked to at the Sportsman Show and on this trip, I've mentioned the whole scavenger hunt format, and everybody is like, that's pretty cool. That's something to look into.
Yeah.
I should make mention too. Now, I haven't gone through our partners, or if you want to call it sponsors list for this, but I did say for both tournament series, there's going to be cash payouts.
Yep.
If you are good enough to get a cash payout, it's going to be random drawings after that for people who did not get cash payout.
Yeah.
So if you got a cash payout, congratulations, you're going to be excluded from the drawings. We want to make sure as many people as possible get something out of this. But based on this weekend, I have a couple verbal commitments for partners for this.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not going to say what they're planning on tossing in, but
who?
Nor'easter Hardcore
Yes.
Fishing Gear is one of them, and A-Bay Lures. So I'll be talking more with them about working that out. Of course, Nakwa's going to be back.
Yep.
We have Klondike Custom Baits said they would be involved. I'm going off the top of my head here. I have a list on the pages, but check it out, guys. We got some good stuff going out, so we're going to make sure everybody gets something fun out of this, or as many people as possible. Anyways.
Sean, I want to mention this right now because we mentioned, like the jig heads and, these things that are kind of working. I have this week, along with both of you guys, submitted ideas about something really cool and really, really special for the jig heads. Now, the jig heads kind of know what's going on because I actually asked them some questions about it this week. But there's something major about it that they don't know. And I think it actually makes this whole thing even cooler. So I would recommend, if you like having access to like really cool, unique, exclusive shit, become a jig head. Become a jig head. Go to jigsandbigs.com. It's just signing up on our Patreon. It's $5 a month. It goes right back into the show. We take that. This is basically how we fund other shit. So I would highly recommend you guys go ahead and when I say that, I mean not uncircumcised beers and like fishing trips. I'm talking about like when we get stickers. That's the kind of stuff that this goes to, you know.
We just put that new order in on our little day out the other day,
Yep.
and fuck, you know what? I didn't get back the estimate. We went off the old prices. We hope the prices have not changed per sticker.
Yeah.
But we spend a lot of money on fucking stickers, and we don't charge people for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Because
yeah.
we see the value in, you know, giving you guys something with our name on it that you can hopefully put somewhere where somebody might see it. You know, that's how we do it. So I would highly recommend you guys definitely become a jig head. We'll get you all, you know, all set up. The sooner you are, the more likely you'll be able to have access to what we have in mind, which I think jig heads, for those of you listening right now, you're gonna fucking lose your mind.
yeah, it's good.
It's cool.
You came up with an idea, and I said, that's fantastic. And then said, what if we did this with it? And you said, that's
That's
fantastic.
even better. Yeah.
And we didn't even talk to the fucking new guy about it. Joe, bring your A game here. What the
My
fuck?
God. This is how it's going to be.
I was just sitting here kind of pretending. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember when we all talked about that.
No.
I put it in the group chat. I put it in the group text. This is how it's going to be, though. It's like I'm the dad. You know, I've got my firstborn, and then I've got my youngest, and they're vying they're vying for attention. This is how, you know. I remember I've been here before.
No.
You know?
I thought I was the brother-in-law with substance abuse problems. No.
maybe. Okay, maybe we're all getting a little bit older. We've all got a little bit of a history, so
Yeah.
you know, it's fine.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so become a jig head, get involved, join the multi-species tournaments. We're gonna have an insane season of fishing, like from the moment that first tournament starts until the last one wraps, and it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. So go ahead and check that up. Yeah,
I mean, coming from me who just got into that multi-species,
yep.
thing last year. The thing that made it cool is, when you're catching those perch, and you're like, if you're bass fishing, you're catching those perch, you're like, oh fuck, you toss it back.
Yep.
No, this gives you a reason to measure it up. This gives you a reason to measure up those pickerel, those other fish. It's just, it's a blast. It's a really good time.
I mentioned that to Caleb today. I was like, yeah, so we do this thing. And I was like, how many times you out here with a client, you get like a big drum? I'm like, throw it on a catch board and enter it. You might win some money,
Yep.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is it's flexible. I was like, it doesn't have to be artificial bait. You can use live bait. You can fish from a boat. You can fish from the bank. You can fish from a kayak. You could, I guess technically you could use a drone in a long line if it's legal.
That fish is on a catch board. How the fuck do we know?
That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
Who the fuck am I?
I mean, now, if you take a picture with the drone in the picture, you're going to get some questions from your tournament director.
Yeah,
But
so
other
let's
than
just
that,
say, it's just about being smart.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I did buy my twin boys one of those bass boats at Bass Pro that you can fish with. You tie a line to
Oh,
it,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, they first fish that hooked up to it, Titanicked it right down.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Those things are like $50-$60, dude. I was like, oh my god.
Please tell me one of your kids in a silent, forlorn voice, when that thing went under, just turned and said, "You sunk my battleship."
Oh, dude. That's fantastic.
No, he was just like, well, that's not coming back, is it? I'm like, sure isn't, pal.
Yeah, the best reply would have been like, dude, that must have been a tank.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Just wait. So it'll come around in our circles one of these days. Hey, I was fishing with old Frank over there. He says he caught a snapper turtle with a fucking boat attached to it.
He caught the pond record.
A pond record. It's a 15-pound, a 10-pound male swimming around it. You fucking kidding me?
10-pound males.
It's kind of like that scene from Jaws when he's swimming around with the buoy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fish is swimming around with that little remote
That's
control
awesome.
boat.
Sunk. I sunk 3 boats in her, Chief. She can't go down with 3 boats.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
We're idiots.
We
Oh,
are,
Jesus.
but you know what? We're lovable, and that's what really matters. Guys, we're gonna take another break, and we're gonna come back and wrap this sucker up in a bow for you. Is what we're gonna do, and then Paul and I are gonna, like I said, we're going with the new snake diet, like 5,000 calories at one time, dislocate the jaw, and just. So that's the plan. That's happening.
Snake meal.
We'll see you guys after this. Don't go too far.
Jigs and Bigs is your favorite fishing podcast, right? Why not show the world how much you love the show while directly supporting us? We have men's and ladies' shirts, hoodies, and a variety of hats. We even have a waterproof outdoor Bluetooth speaker so you can listen to your favorite podcast while out on the water if you like. Check out jigsandbigs.com/shop to visit the store and gear yourself up. If you really can't get enough of this show, consider becoming a jighead and joining our Patreon. It's a subscription that gives you exclusive access to recording sessions that allow you to engage with us as we record the show. We also have some exclusive content there just for our jigheads and even have some special promo codes. Space is limited, so join now at jigsandbigs.com. Finally, if you're local to our area in Western Massachusetts, consider checking out the Western Mass Fishing Report, posted weekly at northeastwildwoman.com. We have amazing contributors providing great content and info for local conditions and what's been going on and working recently. Jigs and Bigs, so much more than just two lightly roasted hippies trapped in the 90s arguing on the internet about fishing.
Alrighty, boys and girls, it's about that time. We are wrapping our show for this evening. I think we got a lot going on. We have a whole ton of interviews, huge interviews that are coming up. Interviews that may involve professional anglers at the high level tournament status. We have some well-loved content creators coming on the show that are chock full of information you're 100% going to want to hear. We also have for you guys some other just really. Let me actually take a look at my calendar. Like I've got stuff going on that you're not going to want to miss.
Local tournament division directors.
Yeah.
We have a guide who's also a rod maker, I believe. Right? Yep, we do. I'll be doing a next Saturday. I'll be doing a live stream with Binya Outdoors on his YouTube channel, Mike Hansen. You've heard him on the show before. We also have some. This is going to be kind of awesome. I should also take a moment to ask, folks. We know I'm a dirty hippie. Someone sent me a message on some fucking form of media that I do not remember, asking to be on their podcast. If you are said person, please resend that message because I think I fat fingered it and deleted the message and I'm an idiot. So please resend that message, whoever that was. Appreciate it. I am happy to jump in on your show. I just looked at that prototype, Joe. That is perfect, man. Right. That is awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. Oh, this is going to be good.
I gave him an idea, like my vision.
Yep.
Like what I was thinking, and he fucking nailed it.
He nailed it.
Yep.
Man, I'm telling you, Chris is so talented. A-Bay.
He really is.
A-Bay Lure Lab. Check them out on Instagram. That's perfect. Yeah, wow. That's perfect.
The great, he does his swim baits, and the best part is he's not using, when it comes to his crankbaits, his jerk baits, he's not using those mass-produced blanks that just swim like shit.
Yeah,
he is using the same exact cranks,
real things
he's throwing. He's the DTs, the Rapalas. He's nailing it. Yeah. He really is.
It's the good stuff.
Exactly.
It really is. Yeah. Yep. It really is the good stuff. I'm stoked. I need open water in Western Massachusetts. And that shit's got to happen. That's all there is to it.
3 weeks ago, I was about to pull the fucking boat out of storage.
It's freaking nuts. But hey, we'll make it happen. We'll get there.
Yep.
I'll be in that kayak soon enough. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
I'm very much looking forward to it. You guys have anything else you want to add on? We're going to wrap this sucker up and then do some snake eating.
No, let's
I love it. Alrighty, guys, you have yourself a good one. Thanks so much for coming out and listening to this show. Remember, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. Give us some type of a comment, any there, constructive criticism, anything at all. Go ahead and rate and review over on Apple Podcasts. It really does help us out. Also on Spotify. There are so many of you guys following us on Spotify. It is great. But you can't rate or review us. But what you can do is follow us. So go ahead and follow us. Let us know that you're following us over on Spotify. And you can give us a star rating over there as well. We appreciate that. I think we're still at like 4.5 stars or 5 stars, which is pretty great. I'm going to go ahead and take that. That is about going to do it for me. And on behalf of the Polish Hammer himself, Sean the Fisherman, and Joe Brown, like we always say,
Tits and ass, smoke some grass.